Hello and welcome to Talking Baseball. The World Series is upon us. The Astros, the Braves, and Trevor Plouffe with a lot on the line. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Talking Baseball, brought to you by DraftKings. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake in California. We got Trevor Plouffe, and in the corner we have producer BBD. On March 21st, Trevor Plouffe said Astros and Braves would be in the World Series. Today is whatever day it is, and now it's here, Trev. Do you feel like your prediction goes to shit if the Braves don't win in 6?
Yeah. It's all or nothing for me, baby. You know, as always, James, I could have taken the easy road, but we don't do that here. We don't do that at JM. So, yeah, I do think if Braves win in 5, it's shit. If Braves win 7, it's shit. Got to be Braves in 6.
Now, here's where I disagree with you there. I think if the Braves win in any number, you still get a lot of points. If you get 6, okay, you get which points? Jake, how are you, and what are your thoughts on Trev's thoughts?
Jimmy, Trevor, BBD, everyone in the chat. Trev, the only part where I'll differ with you is, Jake, easy road story, Ellie. Going to take the path of least resistance.
Okay.
Rooting for your prediction. I think a lot of America is rooting for Los Braves. Just so excited to see how the series plays out at this point. I was dipping my pen in the company ink this morning, and then when I left BBD's place, I listened to Chris Rowe's rotation episode, Giolito and Rojas World Series preview. I was listening to Towing the Slab with David Cohn, trying to get some knowledgeable takes I could steal. The one thing that stuck with me, and then I just had a moment in the bathroom where I thought about it. Lucas Giolito said something along the lines of, all these guys that play Major League Baseball are really good.
Yes.
And, man, when you bring it down to 7 games, like I'll give all of our Marlins fans, that's our largest fan base. People forget that. I watched Jorge Alfaro play catcher for 3 games this year, and I was like, he's an incredible catcher. He made awesome plays. Someone is going to be that guy for the next 4 to 7 games, and I'm just excited to see who it is at this point. So I'll always root for Trevor Plouffe. That's a personal thing I have. That's what I have tattooed over my heart. But I'm just excited to see it play out at this point. How are you doing, Timbo?
Doing well. Excited. Got a nice little respite. Is that a word?
Respite.
Nope.
Respite is a word. I just don't know if I used it correctly.
It sounded like you said rest bit.
I did.
I believe you used it.
Which that's illegal.
Didn't fully listen
Is
to
that
your
2
sentence,
words?
but
Respite, I think, is what you're looking for.
Oh, I thought it was rest bit.
Who knows what I said? I sure as don't. I thought these teams didn't have a lot as far as storylines go. Like off the field, what can the 3-minute Fox documentary be about? Obviously Mookie Betts, if it's Dodgers, Red Sox, even if it was Red Sox Braves, they were the Boston Braves, and now they're 2 different teams. Erica, who helps us with research, has told me I'm wrong. There's a lot going on. Brian Snitker, manager of the Braves, his son, Troy, is the Astros hitting coach.
Yep.
I found that out like a week ago, actually, when someone tweeted it at me. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Father-son battle. Dusty Baker made his Major League debut with the Braves in a game against the Astros. What do you think happened?
What do they call that? That's a serendipity?
That's I don't know. I don't know Sarah.
Nice flick.
But that's full circle is how we have it labeled on our sheet. Full circle.
Hey, let me say this. That father-son matchup, that's not just for bragging rights. That's for about $200K too. Difference in a winning World Series share and a losing World Series share, probably about $200K.
Golly.
So I like that.
What would you do with $200K right now, Trev?
Price myself into Ethereum over the next 12
Bitcoin.
months.
Obviously, Bitcoin.
I didn't say Bitcoin, but
Oh, that's how I just have all of that stuff labeled in my head. That's the if there was computer files and there were folders, I have all that stuff labeled as Bitcoin.
Okay.
It's all a Bitcoin folder.
Yes.
Crypto.
Hey, BBD.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Doing well. I enjoyed the respite. We had 3 nights off without streams, and that was cool. And now we're ready to go all out for potentially 7 of the next 9 days.
Bang.
Bang. How about this one?
Okay.
Okay.
Is anyone bringing us this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to.
Yeah.
We can do that, sure. Dugout Mugs is bringing you this fun fact that isn't really fun at all, but this is when we're doing it. They got metal mugs.
Dong.
Oh.
Like metal bats.
Dong.
These are the coolest.
I need one.
Yeah, I like the wood ones. They're classy, but this in your hand with coffee or even a cold beverage, like really is what it is. And it's a classic Easton-looking metal bat.
know what it is? You
hear
can,
that? Metal.
You can bring that bad boy into like a work meeting. Like you could walk in, slam that on the table, and the meeting begins. If you bring your wooden dugout mug into the boardroom, people are like, "Okay, this guy's really bringing it today." But the metal one's pretty bad. I need to hold it.
That's a lid, right?
Yeah, they also have the inked up if you wanted them in color because they were all engraved, and now they got inked up colored wooden mugs. So you can get all of these at dugoutmugs.com. Use code JOHNBOY and you. Whoa, holy shit! The metal dugout mugs are 35% off with code JOHNBOY. The inked dugout mugs are 43% off.
Yeah.
That's basically half off to the next 100 customers who buy one. You don't need a discount code. It's automatically discounted. Get them both now at dugoutmugs.com. Use code JOHNBOY for 35% off the metal mugs. The inked mugs are 43% off to the next 100 customers. No discount code necessary. Those are going to fly off the shelves. Every time we do anything for Dugout Mugs, they fly off the shelves. That's cool. All right, so Dugout Mugs brought you this fun fact. Hank Aaron died earlier this season, and Dusty Baker said that he wanted to win a World Series in his honor because they were best friends, and he was his mentor, and he was his idol, and he looked up to him. But now, if Dusty Baker wins, that means Hank Aaron's Braves lose, so both sides are kind of playing for Hank Aaron and trying to win one because Dusty said he wanted to win one for him. But obviously the Braves are going to want to win one for him. So you kind of got everyone trying to win one for Hank. I don't know who Hank would prefer. I'm guessing the Braves. I think Dusty has to bow out and say,
sheesh.
Yeah, it's a harsh segment that Dugout Mug sponsored, but that's...
You would think that Hank would want the Braves to win, but,
So Dusty should bow out.
A friend of yours, too? That makes it difficult.
Dusty should bench all of his starters.
Yes.
As a tribute.
As a tribute to Hank.
That's what this should turn into. Who can tribute to Hank the best early on?
Yes.
The Astros should add 44 to their patch. Imagine they came out with it on their sleeve.
We're also playing for Hank.
That's our guy.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Yeah, man, I'm surprised. The storylines in this are pretty good, and I mean, I think they're pretty good on the deep dive talking baseball level, but also the national level. It's it's the Astros, and that's gonna hook some people in. Like, are they really good? They are really good. We'll see if they're good enough to beat this Braves team. But yeah, just the managers themselves. I mean, old Daddy Snit doing it his way, like climbing the ladder. Like, we will probably never see that again. I mean, think of like millennials and how people operate nowadays. Whenever someone asks us, they're like, I want to get into sports media. We say, like, go. Like, put the camera up to your face and go. Like, guys don't do the low A to higher low A to double A to triple A to other coaching to, like Snit, this is probably the last time we see this. And then Dusty, it's kind of the legend. It's kind of the most beautiful part of this Astros story is that they went out and brought in basically one of the most beloved guys in the sports who doesn't have the ring, and now they're on the other side of the field. So I'm juiced up, man. Everyone tribute Hank.
Everyone's winning it for Hank.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone, we miss Hank. I got a question about Dusty for you guys. I'm not sure if you guys have talked about it yet, if I missed it or something. What's up with the gloves?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't have enough info to speak on it, and I feel like if I was to attempt to, I would speak out of turn poorly. So I plead the fifth.
Sportingnews.com ad an hour ago.
Sporting News was huge back in the 1961 season.
An hour ago, post an article, why does Dusty Baker wear gloves? Dusty hasn't fully explained. He says he still wears the mask because he had cancer 20 years ago and a stroke 7 years ago. Whoa. And let's see.
But he isn't wearing the mask in the dugout, is he?
I think he's been up and down with it. Yeah, and
the toothpick in the mask is tough.
I don't know. They just say that Dusty's like a overly precautious guy. They say he religiously is wiping things down and stuff. So I think it's just there.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I was just curious.
I think everyone is.
I think it goes through everyone's mind.
I like it. I think he might just be, like, hey, this is a little bit mysterious of me. I'm going to do it. And then people can talk about
Signature look.
He has a signature look. He's got the wristbands.
Toothpick.
And the toothpick.
Yeah, and he sits in the back all kind of hauntingly sometimes. In like a badass way.
And then what did he say?
Like sometimes Dusty looks like how a baseball version of Darth Vader when he sits on the bucket with the gloves and the hood up and the mask, and he's just like, I gotta be.
Who'd he call a little fucker?
Back on the man, little fucker. I don't know who that was.
Jake Storielli. And yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing I have circled also with Dusty's look, we talk about the Hank Aaron stuff. Does anyone on the Astros bring out the pearls for this series?
No, they can't do that because the Red Sox got in trouble when, Erod did the watch thing.
Right.
So I think it's a lesson learned in stealing things.
You're telling me if Dusty Baker's wearing pearls, that's not a power play?
Oh my God.
You've basically taken Jock Peterson out of the series if Dusty Baker's wearing pearls.
Dusty's the only guy that can do it. Like if Correa does it,
no,
can't do it. But yeah, Jock and pearls would be good.
Gosh, I would love Dusty and Jock pearl off.
I agree, that would be good.
Okay.
We all agree.
Oh my God, dude. Dusty and Jock don't come down from the national anthem. They just stand up and stare at each other.
A pearl stare off to start the World Series. That would be baseball being back.
But Dusty's have to be bigger. Like Dusty's gonna have like golf balls.
Pearls. I was thinking onions. It looks like he's fighting off a vampire. What
in Dusty Baker's first game, there's some fun names that were part of that game. You want to hear some?
Yeah.
Joe Torre. Tito Francona, Felipe Alou, Hank Aaron, Hank's brother, Tommy Aaron. Is that his name? Am I the one looking at it, or are you guys?
Seemed like you brought us here.
Hank Aaron batted third. His brother Tommy, i.e., batted fifth in that game.
I believe they have the most combined homers for brothers.
Brother home runs.
Phil Niekro pitched. And Dusty went 0 for 1. Damn. It's a lot of managers on the same team. Anyway.
You guys want to talk about the baseball, or what are we thinking about?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. We can talk about the baseball. Braves are an underdog. Not in Trev's world.
What's the betting line? Are the Astros a big favorite in this series? They can't be.
Would you like me to check it out on DraftKings Sportsbook?
I would.
What's your guess?
I do think the Astros are probably betting favorites. They have home field. Offense is probably a little bit better.
I think
bullpens are similar.
I think we looked this up on Wake and Jake yesterday, so Me and BBD will take a knee on this one. Just run out.
Okay,
the
I
clock.
bet the Astros overall in the series are like minus $1.50.
Jake, is that right?
That's what it was yesterday.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Trevor's a genius.
I believe it was Astros minus 150, Braves plus 130. Now Braves in 6, which we know is going to happen. That's where you can make the real cheese.
Braves.
Tell me what it is.
Money line, Astros minus 140. Braves
Okay.
plus
Uh-oh.
120.
Line's moving.
Or no. That's for game 1, not the whole series. Sorry.
Pump fake.
That's the first page that comes up. Anyway, today's game, the over-under's 8. And the Astros are favored. You can find out all this stuff on DraftKings Sportsbook. You can also place $1 on any World Series game and win $100 in free bets if either team gets a hit. I think both teams will get a hit tonight. I think you can bet. Honestly, if you're going to watch all the baseball games in the World Series because you're a baseball fan, that's why you're listening to the podcast, go to the DraftKings, use promo code JOMBO when you sign up. Bet $1 on the Astros to get a hit today. If they get a hit, you get $100 in free bets. You will get $100. Then you take that, you save $20 for each game, and you just bet on stuff you like. And then if you run out of the free $100 you got by the end, you're golden. You didn't lose anything but $1. If you hit big, you have some fun. We can make the same bets. If you remind me in the morning when I'm still in New Jersey, you and I will make the same bets. And we'll be in it together. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOHNBOY. Just bet $1 on any World Series game and win $100 in free bets if either team gets a hit. That's promo code JOHNBOY. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the 2021 World Series. You must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA. Only new customers. Only minimum $5 bet required. $1 wager required. 1 per customer. Restrictions applied. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Major League Baseball trademarks and copyrights are used with the permission of Major League Baseball. Visit MLB.com. Of course, MLB made them put more copy.
So Braves in 6, that would be a 4-2 series win. That's plus 600. So, I mean, that's
I asked them this
literally
morning to
free
give
money.
me a retroactive line,
Yeah.
and they said no.
They said no, because that's their business.
All right. We just were on the phone with Pete Moylan. He said that he liked the Braves starting pitchers over the Astros, which I don't think is a crazy take. It's Framber, Garcia, or Kitty. Really? And then Morton, Max Fried, Ian Anderson. I say really because at some point, like, Javier's been your best pitcher. Just plan on starting him, but I think they like him as the gas man. Multiple inning if Framber and Garcia don't perform. What do you got? Starting pitching. You give the edge to the Braves? Jake?
Oh, yeah. No, it's yes. It's Framber and Luis Garcia. Their best can go toe-to-toe with anyone in baseball. We saw that in their last 2 starts. Before that, they weren't doing that. So there's still questions out there. I mean, I'm interested. Framber and Luis Garcia, both of them, their last starts, they were pumping it. It was the hardest both of them threw all year. All year. And that was, I don't know if it was short outings previous to that and those young bucks built it up a little. I don't know. I know there was some talks about mechanics. I don't know what's going on, but those two threw harder than they have been this whole season. So interested to see what that looks like. But yeah, man, I mean, Charlie Morton, I'm never not going to believe in him in playoffs at this point in his career. He gets a little extra rest. We did the Max Fried thing. That's our guy. Yeah, I mean, it's just one more body. It's kind of Ian Anderson, who, by the way, you know, like, this guy needs more respect. I know we have fun with his name. He's got 30 MLB starts, a 3.25 ERA. That's pretty good, but his postseason's better. This guy has 7 postseason starts now to the tune of a 1.47 ERA. So, you know, even if Framber and Garcia go toe-to-toe, which they can outpitch those guys. They're extremely talented. Ion, you have to figure, gives them the leg up. Unless our guy Odo finds something, which, I mean, we'll always root for Odo. But, yeah, you have to lean the Bravos there.
Yeah, I don't think that's even a question. I don't think we're giving enough credit to our guy Max. Max has been the best pitcher in the big leagues since the All-Star break. I know he, it's had good starts, okay starts in the postseason, but if you're just going like, hey, like him versus Garcia, like it's Max all day. Framber against Charlie Morton, I think you could say probably trust Charlie a little bit more. Maybe those two match up a little bit more equally. And then, like you said, Ion Anderson, who I don't think we're messing with his name. Jake, like your old Southern voice that you do? That almost sounds like Colonel Sanders a little bit. Try to say Ian Anderson in that voice.
Anderson.
You can't. I think people in the South are like, oh, they're saying his name correctly for once.
That's the plot
I
twist.
started to think about that. Yeah.
They
don't even know we're joking.
Thinking about that.
Last
I
night.
bet.
I swear to God
bet
I was. I was in bed on the moon, and I was like, man, we're saying it like a Southerner says it. You can't say Ian Anderson in a Southern accent. Anyways,
can I ask you guys something? As far as thinking about the series as a whole, and not game by game, but the series as a whole, the Braves, and just talking about the Braves right now, the Braves plan on bullpenning game 4, right? So it goes 1-2, off day, 3-4. With the off day beforehand, does that put a lot of pressure on Ian Anderson game 3? Like, or any of the pitchers? Does that, like, do the Braves have a lot of pressure on, like, 2 out of the 3 have to go 6 innings if their plan is to, because their plan is also to use these 4 guys in the bullpen every game and then really use them game 4. So I think if the Astros, which how many pitchers have lasted more than 3 innings against the Astros? I think it was Shane. I think it was Cole and McClanahan lasted the longest.
Is it starters only? Are there
starters only?
They haven't faced teams that are approaching starting pitching the way the Braves are approaching starting pitching. They're a more traditional. We want depth from our starters, whereas like the Rays aren't going to do that. The Red Sox actually did that, even though they weren't trying to. Like Erod went out and did that, right?
Against them. Both Evaldi starts, right?
Evaldi did it with. They weren't banking on him going long. It's just. I think the Braves are approaching pitching so much differently, and I think the way they're doing it has allowed those guys, you're saying, Jim, to stay fresh, and hopefully they can continue that. That's going to be a big what to watch for, is keeping those guys fresh. So we need the Braves need those guys to go at least 5, all their starters.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Like that, I think the Astros have knocked more pitchers out than before 5 than any other team this postseason. The Astros have,
Well, their lineup is
bangs,
is deep.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's going to be interesting in the AL games. Last time we saw Ion Anderson, he could have pitched more, but they did the pinch hit. Adrianza opens up the rally. That's how they win that whole game. So the first 2 games are in Houston. So Morton versus Fried, you don't have to worry about. The other side of that equation, Walker Buehler got left in because his spot was coming up second in the order. So, I don't know, man. I think the Braves are going to be hyper aggressive. They kind of have been. Morton and Fried, you're going to believe in those guys to the umpteenth degree. And I think it becomes, for Morton and Fried, I think it very much becomes the basic baseball knowledge of analytics or third time through the order type stuff. Like, you're going to give those 2 dudes 2 times through unless something's really up. But if that third time in the order comes up in Altuve's 2 for 2 against Fried, this is a playoff baseball game. Like, if it's a tie game, I don't think you can let him see him again. So I think they're going to be aggressive. I know we've been kind of nervous about the Braves bullpen burnout, but the last we saw him, Minter, Matzik, and Will Smith were 15 up, 15 down. Like, these guys are still dialed. They just got a little more rest. And, they're just going to keep pushing the button until it breaks, which maybe Houston will, but it's been working.
Yeah, Massick's been a hero. I'm worried about him, though. Like, I wonder if they has anyone pitched? This is something straight out of, like, the early 90s. Yeah, he pitched every game in the postseason. And how much?
I feel like it happens every postseason, though. We have one guy that just comes and takes over. I mean, not every postseason, but it happens quite often.
For
you
sure.
can remember Daniel Hudson doing the same thing. Bumgarner was almost like the start of all of this when he was starting and then also coming to close out games. And Matzik, man, like he seems to have just that extra, like he's playing for a lot juice, like, or he's overcome a lot, excuse me, to be here and like nothing's going to stop him. Like, I feel like he's got that extra bit right now. Because his story is just awesome.
Dude, and it's confidence, man. And, and we'll probably try to relate it to sports. Like, even if you're a golfer who, you don't play golf regularly, but you're hitting your pitching wedge really good one day, and you walk up to your next pitching wedge shot, and you're like, yeah, I've been doing this all day. Matzik, 3 fastballs to Mookie Betts. my guy is peacocking right now. So we'll see. We'll see. I wonder if Houston, if they could get to him early in the series, if that changes kind of the whole emotion around that, because right now he feels invincible. I don't know. I don't know, man. This bullpen, God, it's guys with a lot of experience in big playoff games. Will Smith deserves a lot more love than he's been getting, but that's because Matzik's been so damn good. Like, Will Smith is what? Is perfect clean sheet so far through the playoffs?
I don't think he's given up a run.
That's as the closer.
How do you guys compare these two bullpens? Who do you give the edge? Because I think both these teams are kind of like firing right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves bullpen, I've been doubting it. I've been wrong. They've been crazy, and I like the way they're being utilized. This is going to be, the best offense they've seen, I think, depending on how the Astros come out. But if they come out firing how they can hit. And then, dude, to be honest, like I don't know the Astros.
Well, you got Stanek.
I know they got Stanek.
Graveman. You got Presley.
But I don't know their order. Like, I feel like I haven't been able to. It's not as simple.
Graveman's the setup guy, and Presley's been closing.
Yeah, it's Stanek, Graveman, Presley at the back end of games. They have a few other guys they can mix and match instead of Stanek, but he's been pretty good. Maton's been good for them.
Yeah, he has been.
How do you say his name? Maton?
Maton.
That was Maton.
You always think you're only supposed to hit one or neither. Maton.
That sounds like the wrong way to say it from the Key and Peele skit. Like Maton. Like you're doing too much.
And then for I guess the Braves have Chavez to do this role, but Javier is kind of, are they going to count on him as like a long role if they need him?
I mean, Javier, he might be the most important weapon in this series. His outing so far, 2.2, 0 earned runs, 2 innings, 0 earned runs, 3 innings, 0 earned runs. Like, he's the Astros, he's like their win chip right now. Like, if we really need to go get one, it's 5-4 early, and we need someone to try to end this game, that's their guy. How many innings does he have? He has, let's see.
In the postseason?
7 2/3.
7 2/3. 7 2 shut piece, like.
So that's the role they like him in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hasn't pitched in a while. He hasn't pitched in over a week. So he should be pretty dialed up and ready to go. And you wonder, what was the original Dusty Has a Plan game? Do you remember? Was it Javier?
They just wouldn't reveal the. It was Javier and Framber combined, I believe, after Greinke. They wouldn't reveal to the game 2 starter.
Like, I think that would be a fun little plot twist. Say Framber can give you 6, or maybe Framber gives you 5, and Stanek gets you through an inning. Would Dusty try to get game 1, 3 innings out of Javier to try to end that game, so he's back for a potential game 3 or game 4? Like, I think that's kind of an interesting juggle there, because I don't know, like, you don't want to, when they're without that guy, when he throws 60 pitches, he can't pitch for 2 days. So, like, Dusty has to manage that a little bit. Like, he can pitch in one of the first 2 games. He can pitch in probably one of the middle 3, and then ideally one of the last 2 if you get there. So that's kind of, you have to manage that. The rest of the bullpen guys are 1 inning / I think Graveman can give you 2, and if he throws, 35, he'll be out the next day. But that's the only piece that Dusty really has to juggle back there.
How many games have the Astros been in where it's close, late and close? Like, I know that they've used their bullpen guys like you're saying, but I guess for me it was always in blowouts or like 5 or more run leads. So I was like, I don't know, maybe this is just how they're using them. But 1 game so far where it's been late and close, they either blow out or they get blown out.
Not a bad way to do it.
6-1. So we got a 5-run game, a 5-run game, a 6-run game, a 9-run game, 1-run game, game 1 against the Red Sox, 4-run game, 9, 7, 8, 5.
Well, the 9-2 blowout in Boston, that was
late and close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe 2, but still, it's not the Braves. But on the flip side, have the Braves been part of any blowouts?
I
1 or
wanna say
2.
I trust the Astros bullpen a little bit more right now. Maybe just for that reason, Jim. Maybe like this CS series took a lot out of the Braves bullpen. But I don't think there's that big of an advantage either way. Though I think they're both firing right now, and if they both can continue to pitch well, then that's just a strength for both teams.
I think,
which is crazy because coming into the postseason, we were talking about the bullpen being the scariest thing for the Braves.
Bullpen is probably a little bit of a toss-up. I mean, think about it. Brian Matzik right now is, arguably the most electric reliever.
Tyler.
Left. Yeah. Whoops. Who am I thinking of? And yeah, so I don't know. The bullpens seem somewhat equal. Like if, this is kind of when we looked at the Mets before the season and we compared them to the Phillies, and we were like, if the Mets were the Phillies, I think we'd have higher expectations for them. I think both these bullpens, when you put them on a chart, they're pretty similar. I could see Javier potentially being the swing piece there, but I think maybe what could be the factor going forward on the bullpens is leading us into the lineups, and I do think, it's just tough for me to put anyone over Houston's lineup right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though, the Braves, all those stats were coming out, they were, number 1 in run scoring in the NL since Ronald Acuna Jr. went out. Eddie Rosario's has been going nut job. They're going to get a DH for the AL games. So, I mean, maybe that's the difference when we're talking about whether it's your Graveman, Stanek versus, Luke Jackson. Is he going to bounce back? What does that look like? When you're coming in and you got to see Bregman, Yordan, Correa, that's a little different than if someone gets the Duvall, Peterson, Swanson lane. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Astros can righty lefty their lineup a little bit better than the Braves can. I think the Braves probably will be better in the AL too because they don't have to make that. What are they going to do with Soler and Rosario? You can't take Rosie out of the lineup right now. So Soler just becomes a bench bat essentially.
Or Soler starts and Jock becomes a bench bat. That's what they did with the Brewers, but I don't know, if they changed that now. I don't know if they talked about that.
Jock's kind of hot right now. Well, anyway, they'll both play tonight. Right?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they'll all play tonight. They have 4 outfielders that'll all play tonight because they have the DH. I don't know, man. I think the Astros, when you think about the lineups, the Braves are hot right now. Do you expect them to continue to be hot? There's some articles out there written about how the CS MVPs and how they typically cool down going into the World Series. There's a lot of statistics to back that up. So I think the Braves are relying on some of these guys to continue to stay hot. Not, if they regress back to their mean, that's not good for the Braves. They need Rosario to stay hot. They need Peterson to stay hot. Whereas the Astros, they know their guys are just going to go out there. They know they're going to score runs. Their lineup is so consistent. They have those guys that just give good at bats. They're hard to strike out. They can hit the long ball. They're just so deep. It's so deep. I knew you'd like that.
I'm just blown away by the differences here. Both these teams have played 10 postseason games. The Braves, 8 of the Braves' 10 postseason games have been 3 runs or less. 1 of the Astros' 10 games has been 3 runs or less. Now, you do have 2 that were close late and then got blown up in the 8th inning. But that's I don't think it matters moving forward, but it's just kind of interesting.
What do you do when the Astros come to Atlanta with their outfield and Yordan? Like, you got to kick Brantley to the bench?
So that's the fun conversation on Houston's side. Brantley and Yordan. Brantley's wheels have run out a little bit. Yordan is a massive human that's already had 2 knee surgeries. And they normally play left field with the Crawford boxes or DH. So you're going to be playing in Atlanta, full-size outfield. One of them's going to be out there. It's going to be interesting. I think the consensus right now is that you have Brantley on the bench because what he does at the plate, pinch hitting-wise, should transfer a little more easily.
Yes.
The other discussion, and they talked about this on the Rose rotation, is do you go, and now we're going full nuclear video game, do you put Brantley and Yordan in the corners with Kyle Tucker in center? Get out of here, Chaz, and all those C's. That's video game stuff that if I'm the starting pitcher that day, I'm kind of like, guys, what?
Maybe if Framber makes a start in Atlanta, you probably do that. Is a ground ball pitcher. But yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier today. McCormick, one of the best outfielders in baseball right now. Whoa. Defensive outfielders in baseball. The guy can go get it. So like you said, Jake, you don't want to exactly have Brantley and Alvarez playing in what looks to be a pretty big outfield in Atlanta. It's gonna. I'm curious to see what Dusty does with that. I agree with you. I think it should probably be Yordan in left, Tucker in right, McCormick in center, then Brantley off the bench. But you could also start the game with that like offensive lineup and then say, all right, defense late.
I hope they do. I hope they do a juggle for a couple middle innings because that's what you do. You try to blow the game open, you get a 4-run lead, and then you put in Jose Siri or if Jake the Rake is back ready to go, and then you can have your normal defense out there. But that's going to be a fun one for Dusty to juggle.
Can I tell you guys something that I'm
a big part of this?
Tell you a storyline that's going to happen.
Yes.
Kyle Wright makes the World Series roster for the Braves. I believe he pitched in 2 games this year. Maybe less. He pitched in 2 games in the postseason last year. If you remember, he had a incredible start.
2 games this year.
2 games this year. 6.1 innings this year. Last year in the postseason, he had 6 innings in 1 game. Shut it down. Braves go into a bullpen game. Game 4. Kyle Wright probably just goes 6 shutty again. He's the hero.
I like that.
This guy wasn't even on the AL.
This guy wasn't on the team.
Yes, rosters.
How can you pitch this guy against the Astros? They're some of the best hitters in the league.
He did get blown up by the Dodgers. It was Miami that he shut down, but good job by him.
Kyle Wright.
Okay. What else do we have to talk about? We talked about starters. We talked about relievers.
I like this fact bit,
like
this factoid or conversation that Erica has on our sheet. Runners are 13 for 13 stealing bases off of Atlanta this postseason. Astros aren't known as base stealers, but do you think they try to take advantage of this? Astros got into the most double plays this year. I think they were really bad at making outs on the base paths as well.
I know they had high double plays. I don't know about outs on the base paths, but certainly double plays. I think they led the league.
I think we see them try to exploit this fully.
Plus,
I think they're going to be running from the get-go.
minus 5,000.
What?
Brantley steals a base this series.
Ooh, maybe on the
Trail
back
runner,
end?
back end, gets him to second base, then they
Trail
pinch
runner?
run for him. They
No,
would have
I
pinch
don't
run
think
for him
so.
earlier.
Just one the whole series?
Won the whole series.
What odds are you giving me?
Minus 5,000.
You plus 5,000.
Yeah, plus 5,000. In my head, it's already minus. I'm taking it. His last stolen base,
124 in his
he
career.
stole a base this year.
He did. He's got one stolen base this year. He was averaging, 16, 17 a year for quite some time.
His legs broke.
Yeah, he's not stealing the base.
Okay.
Got hit by a truck.
What else do we have to talk about? I felt like there were some other things I wanted to
Have you hit up
mention.
Oda Rizzi? Like, what are you doing?
I'm letting Oda do his thing. I don't know. You want to see my last text? Let me
Yes.
see. I got to go back. I got to go back a lot.
Oh, I thought it was just going to be your most recent text today. And I saw it.
My last text to him was, I got your fucking back, dude.
You're rooting for the Braves.
Oh, this was a while ago. Something happened.
Something happened.
Yeah, it was when he said
Oh,
he was
yeah, his
mad at
press
them for not letting them
conference.
go deep.
Yeah. Yes, I got you, bro.
And hey, I saw Trev. I know you wanted to get in front of this, but I'll do it for you. I saw Nameless Jeff's Instagram story that someone else created a Facebook account of Nameless Jeff, and I just want to tell whoever that is, watch your ass. I will come and get you.
Don't be doing that to
Don't
Nameless,
do
the
that to
plug.
Nameless Jeff. What else we got? I don't know. I guess just running through Jakey shower thoughts. The Astros are so silly, man, because you go up and down a lineup and you're like, okay, kind of what you were just saying about people who have hot CS series. There's a good chance they cool off for the World Series. Randy Rosarena didn't do that last year, but he's the best to ever play. So there's my statistics. The thing is with the Astros, at least 3 of them have to have good series. Like, between Gurriel, Tucker, Correa, Alvarez, Bregman, Brantley, Altuve, 3 of those 7 guys are going to have good series.
Yes.
Where that, the Braves, they kind of have the magic in the lineup, and, for them it becomes Albies, Freddie, Riley, Eddie Rosario's hot, Jock's been going. I don't know. That's the only part that gets scary for me. If one of the big Atlanta guys is struggling, I think Young Thick didn't have the best CS. Like, that lineup, which has been electric, can get thin. Especially if we're in full playoff pitching mode. Now, that being said, they've been awesome.
They've played against the 2 toughest pitching staffs.
It's true.
I think.
It's very true.
Oh man, it's gonna be good. I think the Astros are the better team.
Wow.
They do have the postseason experience, and from all accounts, the people that have played in the postseason say that matters a lot. And obviously, we know that too, as people, all of us have never played in a postseason game. But I think that does matter a lot. But like Lucas said, these are all really good players, and someone's going to step up. Or does someone step up? Is it the Braves' year? Is there magic? Is it a Hank Aaron thing? Would kind of love that.
They score 44 runs.
Hank. Who's Hank watching the game with?
Okay, now we're
there?
talking.
Man, wonder who his pals are up there.
Hank Aaron.
I don't know. Fun storyline in Game 1 is Maldonado versus Charlie Martin.
In heaven.
Yeah. Got to be his old
Crushes
catcher,
him,
right? Were they battery mates for a while? Because Morton crushes him.
Were they battery mates in Houston? Was Maldonado in Houston at that
That's
point?
my question.
Angels?
I'm finding it right now.
Has to be.
They always try to throw me out.
Let's see.
Maldonado's on the-
Only 7 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say 18. I think think they overlap.
So no. But Martin Maldonado is 7 for 18 against him. 667 on base percentage. Ground rule double, single, 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 double, single. Wow.
7 for 13 and 18 plate appearances.
Can I share with you what Lucas Giolito? Oh, I shared it with you guys already, but I think I should share just a snippet of it. What Lucas had to say. I asked Lucas Giolito what advice, if any, did he give Max Fried, his buddy, on facing the Astros, and he just said, "Don't tip your pitches."
It's good advice.
Like, make sure you're not tipping your pitches.
Feels like head games.
He's saying they're just better at it than other teams, getting a tell on you. Like, they'll figure it out. So whether that's you proactively doing a bunch of different stuff, a la Ryan Dempster, or whatever it is, we got to watch out for that.
Giolito previewed the whole series on Rose Rotation today, so after you're done with this one, go check
that out.
Yeah, and if you can't get enough, like Jake said, Toeing the Slab with Coney, they did a whole preview. Compound dropped an episode today, so there's a lot of
Josh Donaldson
episode. Oh, I can't wait to listen to that. Shorty was so excited to talk to him.
He's so cocky. I love it. Like, he's the cockiest person.
He still has my favorite line that he wrote on Twitter.
Yeah.
If hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in the world, then what does that make pitching? There's no counter.
Yeah.
Like, he dropped that on Pitching Ninja, and it's like, what's your counter?
I've been saying it, bro.
Terrence Gore's on the roster. The sex pot Camargo's off for Gore. So, dude, that's Terrence Gore he is what I said would be like a fun dream scenario where you just get to, take people that aren't on other rosters but then drop them on yours. He's that for running. Like,
yes.
He will just find his way onto a postseason roster, and he'll be the runner. I mean, how long has Terrence Gore been doing this now? Over a decade, right?
He's 30 years old.
He has more stolen bases than postseason at bats, or more stolen bases than at bats in general in the big league. There was some.
Is there a
stat about
comp
that.
to that in any other sport? Like
baseball, when the A's used to only have track stars, they had pinch runners, but
any other sport.
Yeah, I know. That's what.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. Like,
Looks
Taysom
like
Hill, does he count?
In the postseason, he has 5 stolen bases.
Like, if
2 plate appearances.
Like if you had the guy on the end of your NBA bench who was only there for like technical foul free throws or something, like that's the equivalent. Like just some gym teacher that's 99% from the line.
I guess, yeah. I mean, there's really no comparison. You're totally right.
He's technically only appeared in postseason games for 3 teams, but I know he was on a Yankees team that ended up not using him in the playoffs. He was on the Dodgers playoff roster at one point.
He got caught stealing once in the postseason.
2015 ALDS.
Yeah,
Houston got him.
Jason Castro got him.
Wow.
Or maybe it could have been Conger. Let me see when Lowry came in.
Wow.
Jed Lowry pinch hits for Jason Castro in the 8th. The caught stealing happened in the 7th. So no, it was not Conger.
It was Castro.
It was Castro.
Who's in this series, and by the way, he's 1 for 2.
He
or 2 for 4.
Gore stole 2nd, then he tried to steal 3rd, and Castro threw him out.
Got him at 3rd.
If I remember, that was a weird.
It's gotta feel good. Hey, and kudos to Terrence Gore, because he's playing a little bit of roulette when he enters the playoffs. He must have saw your tweet, Trev.
He probably did.
He's like, okay, Braves are gonna make it. I'm in.
Gets to basically pick one of 4 teams at the beginning of a year.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I'm trying to remember. I remember this core steal was silly because they called him safe. I think he replayed it or he came off the bag. I think he came off the bag by a sliver. Oh yeah, dude! He didn't even get beat by the throw. Look what happened. So he slides in, he's safe, and his body just bounces right there, and he's out.
I think that's Luis Valbuena with the tag as well.
No, it's Brantley. No, you're right.
Okay.
That's a third.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. Valbuena. Yeah, so he's never been beat by a catcher.
Castro
He's never
Revenge.
been caught stealing.
Castro Revenge.
Title of that video's funny.
Those should be labeled something different. If you steal the bag and then you come off or something, that should be like,
just like
It's the worst
Out
rule
on
in our
base.
you
sport
weren't
right now.
caught
Or one of.
stealing at that point.
Out on the bases. It should just be
Out.
out on the base.
You shouldn't even be out. Once you touch the base,
YG,
like you should be able to come off a little
YGO,
bit.
you got out.
You think you should be able to overslide completely?
I mean, maybe not completely, but like if you come off at any point, like
if it's like the pop
Dude,
off
I
a little
actually
just
agree with
above
you,
it,
Trev.
yeah.
That I don't think I disagree that much. Like, as long as almost, if you slide, your intent can't be to go to the next base. But they got to beat you.
Yeah.
That's what we do at first. But they got to beat you before you touch the bag.
I honestly feel like overslide by like feet.
It would actually make for hilarious overslides.
Yeah.
I hate that when we get a replay, the guy's clearly beaten the throw, and then like the spike comes off just barely. I hate it.
Guys could just dive for the
It's
bag.
brutal.
You don't need to slide. Be full Pete Rose.